Okay, well, Michael.
I'll be moderator, Karen.
Thank you.
Make it go.
Yeah, okay.
So you haven't looked at the minutes
We love you.
previous.
Corrections to approval of past minutes of September 12th.
I do not see any corrections, so I'll make a motion to approve unless anyone else saw something.
All seconds. Any comments, any corrections? None heard, so move. We're on to correspondence.
Anything?
Okay, we're on to finance.
Would mention at this point that Charlie, who is, I think, finance, is supposed to be here because I was supposed to give him a ride, but his wife got home in time and he called me at about 6 o'clock saying that he had his car and he was coming. Because he's having more computer problems and can't get on.
Oh, God. Okay, so
Yeah.
we'll
can always come back to
we'll suspend in case he comes in.
Well, I'll just say that there hasn't, except for a few minor things like gas, there hasn't been any changes since 2 meetings ago. We haven't had any we haven't spent any of the stuff we voted to spend, so that it's, what was it, around 8,000?
Around 8,000, I recall
Yeah.
from, it was in the. it's in the-
$222.36.
Yeah.
Okay. Citizens' comments? You're the citizen there, Pat.
Huh?
Huh, you're the
I'm the only citizen.
No, the citizens.
No, I
online, too.
just, wanna, do what I can for the turkey trot. I've never gotten involved with it, and I think it's time I did.
All right, Pat.
There's the man.
Today would be the day to find out more about it. and-
Yeah.
Okay, well, it'll be coming up.
Okay, that's what I said. Yep. that's
All
my
right.
citizen
Is anyone online at Citizen
comment. Oh, I have
Comments?
another citizen comment,
Yes.
probably geared more to you. On our trail, from, Indian Inn, everybody's been telling me there's so many,
Hey.
trees knocked down across that you can't walk, and then she's clearing land.
That's
You're clearing-
that's probably behind the alpaca
Alpacas?
farm. They
Yeah.
put those up on purpose so people don't drive ATVs through there.
Right, but is it still, I haven't gone because it had been so buggy, and I haven't gone yet to walk,
You
but
could probably walk over them.
that's what I used to do. I says, oh, good, over, but,
He got some real big trees that he put across there so the ATVs wouldn't cut through there.
and then, who was the one that was telling me that they're clearing to enlarge, I guess?
That's where the train wreck, where the,
No, this is
park
before the train wreck where, I know when you walk the trail and then you get to this area where it's kind of wide that it floods if it's really wet. I'll have to go check for myself. I'll have to go.
It does sound like you're talking about where the turntable is gonna be.
No, I'm way back this way. I'm more way back by
Okay.
Indian.
Yeah, the alpaca farm, they clearing some land.
the places that I know which flood are underneath 193 and underneath 395.
Wrong trail, Charlie.
Well, then, we
Yeah,
don't
this
have
is a
any
diff-
jurisdiction on.
I'm just gonna- I'm gonna-
She's
have
just
to go
asking
walk.
really, but it's behind the alpaca farm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he discouraged people because of the bad attitude of the ATV driver.
Yeah, oh, yeah, no, I fully agree with them. I do know that when you walk the trail from Indian Inn and you get to where it goes upgrade, and then the alpaca farm starts with their signs. If you go left, that's conservation land, I think, and that's where somebody's got a duck blind.
That's on Butler's property.
Who's?
Butler owns that property that the blind is
The
on.
alpaca farm.
Yeah,
Oh, he does. Oh.
he
okay.
does. They had to get, a complaint was filed because it was so close to the water. So the wetlands conservation, inland wetlands went out.
I've been tempted sometimes for taking pictures, but I haven't climbed up. I was
So-
tempted.
If you go down that trail, anything that's to the left when you walk down that trail is Wyndham Land Trust.
When the
And then
land.
to the right where the duck blind is, that's the Alpacas Farms property.
Okay,
I
I
think
thought
they
that
go
was
right up
all
to the
Wyndham
water.
land. Oh, it's not.
Across the pond is all, well, not all, but a lot of Wyndham Land Trust on that side of the
Right, a
pond.
lot of it was donated by the Weisses, I guess, the Weisses.
Yep.
But it's kind of landlocked, isn't it?
Yes.
Kind of hard to get.
Kind of.
But there's supposed to be a road that goes through there. If you look at a map, it shows a road but that road is,
Well,
not
there
a road.
is, to get to there, you've got to go down my road, but you've got to go through, I don't know, I think it's McDonald's now who owns it, the White House down there.
but there's a road that goes through there.
But it's
He's got
scary.
keep out signs and stuff and no trespassing, but there's actually a road that goes
Because you
through there.
can take that and you could end up at Lakeside.
Yes.
But it's scary because that's where you hear all the coyotes from, so it's like,
Good.
Just don't carry a pound of hamburger in your pocket.
no, I've got my spray, but
All right, we're on
Wait,
to,
wait, under citizens, just want to introduce Bruce Fitzpatrick. He's on the Putnam Trails Committee, and Bruce, I'm not sure what your title in town is, but he lives in Thompson.
I'm the land use agent and I live in the town of Putnam, but I grew up on Oakwood Drive, right out in East Thompson there. And I spent most of my childhood on Jerry Swamp and that same rail bed you were just talking about that goes all the way down to the alpaca farm.
Oh,
okay, well, welcome aboard.
yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're at events, the Walktober, that's the one I asked you about. I thought, it was coming up, but it's already been done.
yeah, so that was pretty good. I want to say for the first hike in the morning, we had 13 people, 14,
14 or 15.
something like that. We had a good walk. Noticed a little bit of trash, and then for the second one, Charlie and Brian took them, and actually the next group, which we had officially 17, but I think 10 of them were scouts that were going on the same hike, so we got credit for them being on our.
Yeah. it's
And then they grabbed a whole bag of trash on that walk. Charlie did, yeah, for the,
Brian and I picked it up on the way back.
so that was a good thing. But
And I
again,
picked up what was left around the portage.
but a successful both hikes.
Was
Good.
was it trash on the tri-state marker or on the
No,
airline?
the trash is
the
along
airline?
that new loop.
Really?
And
Yeah, there are a lot
there's
of
still about
bottles
6
and
tires
pumpkins.
there.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of ties.
It was old trash. It was a small stack of beer bottles and a hubcap and something else.
There's a half dozen or so ties.
The tires I
Very good.
want us to target.
How would you get those out? Tie a rope around them and drag
I
them out?
would,
Yeah.
I'd say 3 people up on the top and 1 person
Oh.
snake down with a rope and tie it around the tire and drag it up and then throw the rope down.
Oh, it's
Put a
like-
hook on it so it'll carry.
Are you gonna volunteer to go down the hill, Pat? Are you gonna go down the hill and
my
look for
thinking-
I
tires?
don't mind.
My thinking is we should at least drag them over to East Thompson Road. Leave them there until Litter League or DPW can pick them up, somebody. I mean, if we get them out, if we get them out of the
If you
woods,
bring them
then,
up to the trail, we take the Kubota down there and just throw them back.
yeah, we could do
My,
that.
my thoughts exactly were to hook it to like the hitch and drag them up with the Kubota.
Yeah.
Probably easier than,
Yeah, that's, I was thinking, everybody would, we keep dragging them up the hill, but no, that would be better than, yeah.
Mhm.
At the risk of volunteering my husband for anything, he does have a winch on his truck.
Yeah, we got.
We have a winch on the
Yeah, the
Kubota?
truck out there, you have to turn it sideways.
We know somebody
We
that's
don't.
got a.
You don't know. Well, I have a winch on my utility.
Oh, we gotta come along in there.
that's a lot of work
Yeah.
too, though, but
I have the electric one, because that's what powers my plow.
just-
so-
That's why I thought
should be able to roll
3
it up the
people
hill.
on a rope and you pull it up.
so we'll have to look and see. Again, we're not at trails like
No, that's right.
work, but maybe we can.
We're in
look to get some-
Walktober, but yes, that was more successful than last year. We had more people and,
Yeah.
and
We
I,
went
I
on-
want to give credit that Charlie did a super job of explaining a lot of things. That's why I like having one of these guys along. They know so much history and Charlie covers an awful lot of the train wreck history. on
I
the,
can
on
make
the
up
walk.
things.
It sounds good, it's okay.
I didn't give anything away, Charlie, but it was nice doing it with them and
It was an
So you
electric
did
steam
both.
locomotive.
You did both.
I did both.
I was
Charlie
there
did
for
both.
But they both did the second one. So I went and worked at the fire department and then came back at the end.
But he made sure everybody was signed in.
So it was good.
Okay, we're on to Community Day, which will be coming up Saturday.
Definitely the right call made though,
Oh,
because
yes, yeah, it would have been terrible to be out there.
Miserable.
Yeah.
Oh, Rhode Island got flooded.
Yeah.
That storm that we were expecting.
They're announcing like in the high 50s, but at least sunshine.
sunny and it's definitely going to be seasonal temperatures.
Yeah, well, dress appropriate.
So we're gonna bring the trailer down.
So we're still same
Yes.
plan, yeah, and I can be there all day because I don't have another event I didn't plan on another event. I do have another event, but I'm not going to it.
So
Well,
you're gonna
it-
do that in the morning?
Yeah, I'd like to get there
In the
before it
morning.
gets kind of crazy
Did
there.
you get the thing from the rec department about
You are gonna
timing?
put the two tents
No.
together?
I am actually not going to be at the rain date because I had commitments on the rain date. So my commitment to Community Day ends on Thursday when I do the paper layout.
Okay, then put the paper layout, put the two tents,
So you
Last
won't be
Green
set on
Valley,
Friday,
Last
set
Green
up either?
Valley and the trails together.
you're asking.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just that.
Yeah.
I don't care where they are on the
Said
ground.
that the
Yeah, yeah.
rec-
I will
700 Friday.
send you, you get
Before
something
Saturday.
from the rec department instructions on it, because it has all the timing and which direction, but it's the way the cars are supposed to go.
Yeah,
It's just, I think it was start at 9.
Yes,
Okay, but I'll send you. both.
because Beth had emailed me asking me to do what I had done last year, and I said, I'm already booked to 2 other places, so
Oh,
forget
boy.
it.
did you talk to Bill? Ranger Bill? Last
Oh,
Green
yeah,
Valley?
yeah.
Oh, because I'm gonna pick up the tent still probably for you. He hasn't messaged me back. I just
Yeah,
said.
because
it's
I
been
said,
postponed.
as long as somebody puts up the tent, I don't mind, but
Yeah.
I can't put up the tent.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get it though, and I'll bring it
Yeah.
down for you.
And
I get this
asked
high up
Brian
off the
to
ground
bring
and that's it.
I'll be
Okay.
able to.
Oh, well, come on down.
Okay.
The more the merrier.
So I'll say that I'd probably be at your house for like 8:30
Okay.
to grab that trailer.
Just give me a buzz when you're on your way. And I'll have everything in there. Right now, it's still, I'm gonna make another pass on the trail before next week,
Okay,
so we can talk about that.
okay.
All right, so we hope we have a good turnout. The problem with the rain date is, but you don't have a choice. Yeah.
There's no
Less-
monkey wrench at it.
Yeah,
Well,
less
yeah.
turnout than the planned date, but there was no way.
No,
Yeah, it would have been a miserable experience for everyone and
Yeah.
nobody wants that.
we would have just sat around and done nothing.
The
Anybody
World
with
Series
tents,
is
they
that
would have
weekend.
blown down the road.
Right.
It was just awful.
Okay, Brian, we're on to Turkey Trot.
Okay, I do have updates. I was talking a bit with Mr. Levenseed today. We did receive a $500 check from the Speedway.
Yay!
That brings our present total checks in hand to $9,325. The 2 checks that we pretty much can count on that aren't in hand yet are Day Kimball and Bank Hometown. That's another $1,750. If you
Wow.
add those 2, we have already exceeded last year's number. Last year, we raised a total of 11,050. Right now, with those 2, we will be at 11,075.
Wow.
And there's a lot of $125 sponsors that have not sent checks yet. Amanda is going to start calling the $250 sponsors first because we need to finalize them for the t-shirts and stuff. And we still need the new 120 new sponsors so we can get the signs. Let's see, Dave Labs is going to have the stickers to update our promotional signs by the 13th. Our next meeting is on the 13th. So if you guys are available, I don't think he's given me a time yet. That's next week from Thursday. We only need to order the sheets by the shirts by the 27th. We have 25 yard sign of the yard signs to promote it, counting the one at your house, John. We of course have the sponsor signs from last year and only need ones for new sponsors. Brian's calling New England Awards for the medal order. I'm thinking of maybe doing I did not bring the sample, a one-page, two-sided handout for everyone, because when I was at the Canine for Cancer event sponsored by Dave Kimball yesterday, it's a much smaller event as far as people participating. They do have some vendors, but they had a nice little handout that they give that I thought we could do. That would be a nice touch for our sponsors, because they have the main sponsors on the front. They have an event schedule. We could certainly do what time our different things are happening. They have all the sponsors on the back. Inside, they have a map, so we could have a map showing where the course is. And they have all the vendors listed on the other side. And I thought, which I mentioned them today, that would be a great place to list the winners from the previous year. And that might, with their time, which might be a motivation to the runners to say, oh, let me try to beat that time. And oh, we get recognized and they'll do this next year. And it really costs, other than the time to set it up, it costs nothing. I could even print this almost with my saved pages at home. I've got 375 pages that I can use by the 25th. Then I get another 100 that go on. 200 copies, that's 400 pages. So I could even do this at no expense to Turkey Trot. So that is something that we might put some more thought into. I just thought we don't do, we don't do goodie bags or anything fancy, but this is something that's a little more, considering we're raising more money now, and it might be something that's appreciated and doesn't really cost us any of our money.
There is a thought, I like that. There's a thought though, that popped up. What were the kinds of programs that we spent last year's proceeds on? What if we said, last year we raised X number of dollars and it supported this and this and this?
Right.
Because that way people can get a more tangible,
Yeah.
yes, what's the best score, but yes, I'm helping to get this and this and this.
Yeah, it's in the sponsor letter. We talk about it on social media,
Oh,
but
okay.
that would be, yeah, I mean, these
Well, I
are
was
going,
thinking-
but these are going out to the participants. So yeah, that's a good idea, Charlie. My pen. What else was I gonna say? Let's see.
So when do you think, you're thinking this is the handout day of?
Yeah, when you give out their
When they
bids.
register,
Yeah, when they
and
do the
they
registration.
pick up their bid number.
Yeah, but they don't want
Oh,
more stuff to
So
hold.
I know, that was my thought, was it's
Yeah,
gonna,
but
we're
that's
gonna
just
have to pick
something
them
that
up
gets
off the
pulled
ground.
up and put in, yeah, I mean. Like, yeah. I mean, if it doesn't cost us anything, it doesn't hurt
It's
anything.
an idea that has merit. I
I
don't
like
know how much we can fit on the page.
Funny.
But the
based on that.
idea, I
Pages
mean,
we want.
the idea of the previous year's winners, we're not really gonna
Yeah,
have time to
that's good.
digest that.
Yeah,
Maybe you
but-
want to put up a sign
but-
right at the kiosk, this was the time.
But
of
if you're, you know
last
what
year's winner.
category you're in, you're looking at the category, you're looking at who won and what their time was, and I noticed
But it might be
the,
a good sign.
I
to
noticed
have
the
up.
person, they just
So
had that
you-
race around the lake in Killingly, and the
Yes.
guy who won is the one that won ours the last two races, but didn't run it last year. The Longchamp or someone, yeah, so he's still active.
So if I'm hearing Karen right, she's saying, oh, that's a good idea, but let's just make up one sign instead of six.
It is more environmental to have one
I
sign.
know,
than-
but
Well, no, I mean, the
I'm-
sign for the,
Yeah,
of the
because we're gonna-
previous.
I'm thinking because of the sponsors. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone gets this. It's got the sponsor name on. Who even looks at our sponsor signs, which we paid money for, but they don't even notice it. And you'll see their logos on this. And I just think it's not a big deal, and it would maybe help with
Well,
sponsorships
that's
as
what
well.
I was thinking when you were talking first, is that you were gonna have this handout, like maybe at town hall and stuff, which other people who are not involved could see who all the
Ah.
We
sponsors
could
are.
print more. I mean, then we might go
Yeah.
beyond what I can print, so we
Yeah.
might have to have Brian print some up, because it probably will be in color, so. What else?
We post that on the page.
On the
Turkey Trot
Turkey
page,
Trot,
like
oh, yeah.
last year's winners
Well,
and
that-
these
that-
age groups. I mean, is it too much? I don't know.
That-
Well, it's
or-
posted on
or a
RaceWire,
link.
but I don't think people look on RaceWire, so.
That or a notice on the trail's Facebook page or on the town of Thompson's not Facebook page, website page that says, hey, did you know this about turkey trot? This is kind of what Brian Santos keeps talking about at EDC, how we can, one page, one sheet kind of a thing. Did you know this is going, or this is going on in Thompson? And whoever it was, it might have been Brian Yashirno that suggested, but whoever it was that suggested it, the idea has been percolating. And ever since you've been hearing me say, we're not getting credit for what we're doing.
I will say something like that would probably get more traction on the social media page than on the town's website, which for all of its improvements is still more static than something like social media.
I mean, I don't
So,
have
you know,
access
Facebook,
to changing our
Instagram.
page easily, to go through Renee all the time.
You mean the web
Web
Yeah.
page, yeah,
Social
but-
media, I mean,
yeah.
whatever somebody sends me to put up, if I can put it up, I figure out and put it up. Or share, I've been sharing, because you sent some stuff to put up on it that I shared from.
I think that I'm also an admin on the Trails page now. I don't know, I'm constantly getting it wrong. I think I'm not, and then I am, and like Trails and Ag are the two that I'm never sure if I'm an admin on the page, but I think I am. So you can send it to both. But in terms of like the dynamism and being able to like share with pictures and more colloquially, I think you get more traction off Facebook, Instagram than you do off sort of the very official and static looking.
I know, what
town
we
page.
need though is like on the town website, when it's like, when we give emergency information and stuff, you know, not the trails page, but the very first page, just something that says, go
Yeah.
to the Facebook page for the turkey trot. That would be more,
So yeah, if it's on the
Yeah,
home,
everything
if
I
it's on the
post-
homepage, then
Everything
that
I
is
post
Renee. I'm not
on
an admin on the
Turkey Trot, I
homepage.
post on Trails, and Brian posts on Rec. I don't know if it gets into the town page.
Change something down, way down low. It's new, but nobody knows
right,
it's been
it's
changed.
gotta
You're
be
not
on
gonna
the
get there and look
homepage.
at it.
right?
Yeah.
But we do
Pinned.
pretty good with that,
They
because a
call that
lot of,
pinning it, I think. Is that what you're saying?
it?
So it's always pinned to the front of the thing.
And we got a
a
couple.
lot of other local Facebook pages that share, Northeast, something
Oh, yeah,
shares our
yeah.
stuff all
As
the
soon
time.
as I put it, it's on Northeast, yeah.
Shares our stuff every time. Like, a lot of, not only is it going on our Facebook page, but it's getting shared by a couple of different local pages too, so.
And that is helpful, both when they do it for you guys and reciprocally, because every
Mhm.
time you share or anything like that, you're sort of cross-pollinating the audiences. That's how that stuff works.
Yeah. I try to stick with trails to trail stuff, you know what I mean? Because a lot of things are posted on
Yeah,
the,
it should be relative to the purpose.
right.
Couple other things, money wise, I think everyone knows, but if you don't, G7 Catering did take on the timing sponsorship. That's one of the reasons our money is so high. And that means we will need bibs with their name on it, but the quote he has this time is much cheaper, just 20 cents per bib. So it's only going to cost us maybe $40 to $60 out of that 1,500 to make the bibs for that. So that was great news. That was in my email, back to my texts.
You might
Um,
wanna contact the Wall Shop. He started this in 2008. And
Yeah.
the Wall Shop.
Yeah, he's been, was he part of setting it up?
Yes.
Yeah.
And, but then he was upset with Renee and
Really?
wouldn't have anything to do
Hmm.
with the thing. Yeah. Then he got upset with me the next year because there was some Boston Marathon runner wanted to participate, but he didn't want anything to do with that.
Hmm.
So I was on his blacklist too. But he can bring in over $2,000 just by himself.
Hmm. First name Scott, isn't it?
Yeah, Scott the Wall Shop.
Yeah,
He might only want the money to go to G. I think that would
he
be,
gets, I think, more than they need right now, because
Well,
we need it. It's the only place we get needed.
Is
She
there-
contributes, but they're getting a lot more than I think they ever expected from us, but we're all doing better, so I don't mind continuing
Is
to
there any
share it the
kind of
way it's being
program
shared.
That TIG is involved with, that we could earmark the money and say, we want you to spend it for this because it helps? Because
You'd
who
have to
who
talk to
does
them
that?
about that.
I think they do a lot of their summer programs
Yeah.
with this money helping,
Yeah,
the stuff they do
that's
with,
good then.
with recreation.
The need is there.
Coming up, I will be volunteering to tackle the trail. That is on the 15th. I will have 200 save the date cards. I have 70 at home. He's going to make another 130 so they can put it in their goodie bags. Going back to the goodie bags, this is the type of thing they do at K9, and the vendors help do it. Centerville Bank get a little thing for the dogs around their neck, and
oh, yeah.
it's kind of nice. What I was surprised that we still don't have their sponsorship. Runnings, of course, Levency didn't know that they carry pet stuff. I was educating them on what Runnings does, so there's more of a tie-in with them. They had, well, there was probably 20 to 30 raffle things and buy the tickets for, and about 6 of them were contributed by Runnings, each of them with a $50 gift card. And Runnings was one of the sponsors of the event, so they must have come up with almost $500 to support Canines for Cancer, which was nice of them. And Walmart Putnam sponsored that. Why Walmart Brooklyn didn't, when it's right down the road, I don't know, but Walmart Putnam did. So again, I told my ex-boss, oh, we sponsored the same thing because I sponsored my late dog's name. The other thing we're doing at the end of the month, I forget the date, maybe the 27th, is our morning show with Winnie, with me and Levency on that. And I think that pretty much gets us up to date. So a lot of follow-up calls coming to the vendors. Most of the items we need are in order. And even if you can't, John, before our meeting next Thursday, I'm going to try to walk West Thompson Dam. And if you haven't contacted USACE yet, I'll let you know what we're looking at. Oh, if you're going Sunday, let me know. I don't know what my schedule is here, but I'd rather go with you. But if you can't go, I just wanted to add that information before our next meeting.
I'm gonna try to go Sunday morning. Because the meeting is coming up, so.
Yeah, so hopefully my goal is to have a 13,000 in sponsorships this year. I think we're going to top that. Maybe we get closer to 15. I don't want to get that excited, but I told
Don't
Levency
get
if
ahead of yourself.
I told Levency if I hit 15, can I retire and pass it on to someone else? He said, no, then we have to go for 20.
No good deed goes unpunished.
I mean, when you think about it, when I took over, we had under 5,000 in sponsorships, and we're almost tripling in my 3 or 4 years. So I'm for someone that doesn't like getting sponsorships, I feel really good that we got the ball rolling, but I'm really happy with first Leslie and now what Brian and Amanda are doing. They're doing the stuff I don't really like to do, and none of us really like to do, and they're really supporting us and earning every bit of money that they get out of this too.
Okay, so wait, the portable PA system.
Well, that's what I was gonna say.
The
That's
portable
next.
PA system, okay, we've already voted, right? Yeah, we're the
Yeah.
ones who
Yes,
approved it
yes.
last month.
Right, and rec,
Rec did approve up to 750. The only little twist in that is that Dave Clark on the board wants to research and approve our purchase himself.
did you
And
give them a date?
I-
Do it.
I would have preferred, almost as was suggested to me, that Brian had spoken up and said, no, we've already done that, so we don't get delayed. But if he's the holdup with them actually writing the check, then we might have to play ball on that. But I haven't gotten any contact from him, so I haven't wavered from what I was going to get. Historical had committed to 200. That got a little confusing because they bought their own audio video
Yeah, I'm
system.
not sure what that
What
is.
they-
And
what
I
they
know they're
bought.
buying stuff for the Riscavage Auditorium too. But I wrote to Joe, and he assures me this is still something that's different than what we need. Because I said, I don't want to get something if you already got something.
What buy
So-
is they do a lot of interviews and they bought mics and things. So
Yeah.
when you have an interview, it's not a PA.
Where they get
system.
lavaliers.
And it's,
Yeah.
and it's
There's
not
like
like a
12
take it
mics.
with you thing. So he did offer to do more if we needed more, but there's something to do with needing a new furnace or something. So the maximum they could do is 400. But that's a good number because if we can get, and I know EDC has limited funds, but now if we've got it down to that, maybe EDC, it's on their agenda for this month. Maybe if EDC can come in, now we've got 4 partners and that drops under $400 each. And so neither us nor Recreation need to spend close to our commitment of 750. We're right in line with what Historical said that they would give us. And we only would need the similar 400 from EDC.
That's
Right.
probably a reasonable amount to ask EDC for. It's just, at this point, we don't have the, as you know.
No, I know. Yep.
We don't have the flexibility that we've had in past years to be helping hands with funding the way.
Well, that's why
that
I'm
we have.
excited if we got these all 4 pieces and everyone's going to use it. So why not? Then you don't have Historical giving less. So do we say, well, you didn't give as much because, and we need it, so we're taking it that day. We're all equal partners in it, which is better. Because I was getting to the point where I was just going to buy it myself and let the town use it. But so far, people are coming through and then it'll be the towns
So-
and
So Historical said 400.
Yep.
And,
said up to 400.
Up to
So if it comes
400.
in a little less for them, great.
okay.
And if we want to get accessories, like if we do decide to get the custom rolling wheels for it, then maybe some of the extra money, the other 2, us and Recreation, we're willing to do can help cover that. Because this is covering just the speaker and 1 wireless mic.
And we had talked about it being resident at the library, but that doesn't make sense now. If they're not a partner, it should be.
Yeah, they're not a
resident at-
partner.
at Resident at rec.
Well, this is rec.
Yeah.
That closet.
Yeah, so.
And there's a
that-
lot
the-
of stuff in there.
And we might have to help Rec clean out that closet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
But is that where?
Brian is striking me as taking up from where it was before, and those guys are pack rats, and there's everything in there that, I think there's stuff in there they haven't touched in 5 years.
They did just reorganize that.
Did they?
closet, Yeah, in the last couple of weeks, but it's still packed.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
AV equipment for public meetings lives in this little office, so I wouldn't necessarily store it together because there could be confusion from people coming in to set up meetings. So
Mhm.
that's probably your storage closet right there. There
it
is
doesn't take up much
certainly
room.
room for a speaker and a microphone carrying case.
Does that come in a case, the microphone?
I do
Oh,
not know
sure.
that.
Because if it doesn't come in a case, that might be something that we look at at least, so you know where it is. all
If
the
it's only
wires, et
one
cetera.
mic, it's not going to be much of a case. It's
Right.
just going to be
It's
like a
usually in
padded
small,
soft
like a
case.
zipper envelope that's got padding in the inside.
So to sum that up, I'm waiting for the EDC meeting, so we know whether or not they're a part of it. That is also right with the timing. That was the other stipulation. That's the word that Dave Clark put on it, is that it has to be, we need to try it before it's returned. But that's what I said from the start. I wanted a 45-day return policy. I wanted to buy it not too far away from the turkey trot because we do have our sound system. So if there's any issue, I'm not stuck. John's brother will still let us borrow his, so we can try it. And if it isn't what we need, we can still return it after turkey trot. And that we're not hurt. The only question I would have for Tira, either now or, well, I could ask when EDC votes, is how I would go about purchasing it from the town. Do I need a town credit card or something? to do that?
Probably, and also a copy of the tax exemption certificate, which I have both of those things. So, and I have a somewhat higher limit on my department card than most of the other department heads because I buy things on behalf of
Mhm.
projects.
I mean, I would buy it, but again, I wouldn't qualify the
No, I
tax
can do it.
exemption, so.
I can do it. And if it's the Guitar Center that I'm thinking of, I'm by there all the time. Millbury?
Well, that was the issue of whether or not they would give the tax exempt because they told me no, and you said they should.
Tax exempt, tax
Tax
exempt.
exempt is tax
Tax
exempt.
exempt.
They said because it's a Connecticut town, they couldn't do it in
That's
Massachusetts.
just some knucklehead retail clerk not wanting to deal with it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, because I've done it also for the church.
You're just
And-
buying
and
something and you're not paying the tax
Okay.
because you're tax exempt. You're
That's
we're not
where I
Yeah,
shot
that's-
for it was Millbury. So
Yeah,
tax
that's
exempt in Connecticut.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
That
they're
is.
gonna lose a $1,500 sale.
And honestly, if they were snot-nosed about it, I can just go to Union Music in Worcester.
Oh.
In fact, I'd really actually rather that it have come from Union
Yeah.
Music in Worcester.
If it's the same price or a better price, I'm fine.
Well, that I
mean,
don't know, but
yeah,
you
I-
know, at least
I-
they're real.
I don't know music places like you do. I know Guitar Center because my daughters bought a lot of stuff from them and had lessons from them. So not that one for.
I know some people,
Know some people.
I know some guys.
I think we're done with the Brian part of the meeting.
Okay, so we're on to Little League.
Oh, wait,
Oh.
sorry. October 15th, which you mentioned for Tackle the Trail, is also, I noticed in the October book,
We have the historical society
Mhm.
given up. So they're having all the museums gonna be open at the school.
And I'd love to go to that, but I did commit to Tackle the Trails. so.
Yeah, I won't be
And
able
the
to leave
library's
because I'm
having-
in
they're gonna be
Woodstock
showing
at
the,
the
Nine Lives of
Oh, they
Nine
are there.
at the-
Roseland show.
I know, but I don't know if everybody else knows. And I just want to say, when I saw it in there, I was like, oh, too bad I didn't know about it, because it says Trails is sponsoring part of it. That's just you then.
Well,
Really?
yeah, well, I'm
But I
gonna-
could have put it in the selectmen's update, so
Charlie,
I need to know that stuff.
Well,
My fault.
I was-
I was
Okay,
entrusted with
okay.
publicity and I contacted the last Green Valley.
Okay.
Well, I've seen it in at least a couple of places, and when I saw it, I said, geez, I would have liked to go to that.
Train wreck.
Because all the museums
Well,
are open.
If somebody wants to write up a press release for that, I can distribute it to my press.
The Library,
Joe
it's on the
sent-
library website, on the historical website at the library.
Okay.
And it'll be on our, on a Facebook page.
Okay.
It'll be on our website.
Good,
It'd be
because
nice to be an article in the Villager if you
I
can
got
get
it.
it.
I have the
Thing
original
out from-
text, but all of my computers are locked up.
Who's,
Well,
And I
But
think,
it's in the
I-
but
Green Valley.
Joe sent out.
We'll talk
the
about
whole
that later. That's
schedule.
it.
who's Facebook?
is it on the historical society?
Yes.
All right, I can share.
I thought it was shared to it. I
It's
saw I
definitely
saw it
on
on
the Historical
one of the
Society. I
town
know, because
pages.
for some reason I ended up as an admin on that site. I have no idea, but I get all the notifications.
Well, the library runs that site. Murder, the library. Our Facebook page.
Little League.
Little League. So the first collection date did happen last Saturday. I believe 2 teams dropped off that day, but Levency and Amanda had arranged to pick up from 2 or 3 teams prior. So there's 8 total teams, not all teams collected and dropped off for the first one. I do not have the bag count. I should have thought of that and asked Brian and Amanda today, so I apologize for that, but I'll email them and get it. Next pickup will be the 22nd of October, or drop off, I should say, or not even drop off, drive through and be counted. Now, from what I understand, when they had the little pre-launch meeting with the participants, what the participants who dialed in for that agreed was that every month there'd be a little mini award. And then at the end of the season, there would be the big award. So I will make a, let me have your pen, write this to myself. I will make a point to remind Brian and Amanda about that, and then I'll see if we can get the winners announced on the sign, but it's happening. I mean, they have, I think, at least 20 bags that came in, all told, but I would have to ask to be sure. I think Putnam Rotaract brought in a lot, not on pickup day. They arranged for it to be picked up. But whatever, you know,
Yep, it's working.
it is what it is. We're still working bugs out as a pilot, but if we can have 3 successful months of, you know, quantifiable counts, then we've accomplished what we want and we're in a good position to continue next year.
I have a question.
Yeah.
These other teams, and I didn't sign up for one, but are these other teams doing like an adopt a spot or are they just?
So that's the other thing that they'll have to do. For the first, we are doing assigned pickup areas. And the point of that was so that like somebody couldn't park themselves on a high yield trash area all the time, so that they could rotate it around. For the first one, I think essentially they told the organizations to clean up their home-based village of the 10 villages, although I think there were 2 teams in North Grosvenor-Dale, so I don't know how they broke that up.
I was there Saturday, when you couldn't make it, so I was there with Amanda.
Oh, you
And,
did?
and one of the drop-offs was from somebody representing Trails. And I thought Trails had a certain area, but they said they did another area, so they did
Well,
around their house or something.
what
so-
Brian told me, because I picked up some bags, and he said that Trails was assigned to Fabian as the town until
That's what I-
a certain date.
That's what I
and
thought.
Then
but
it was
thi-
pick up
this group-
anywhere.
This group got it from a different area, because Brian had told me Fabian too, and they said where they got it. I don't remember where it was, but it wasn't Fabian. So.
So who was doing?
Was it trash that came off the roads? Then that's all I care about.
So you're not, really don't understand any of it. but-
Yeah, I thought Charlie was coordinating the
Well,
Trails
yeah,
team.
Charlie, you're the one that.
I sent you 4 names.
Could do it, but you know what? The idea came, I've had a rough.
All right, but Brian has assigned anybody who's not affiliated with a team to Trail.
Yeah.
Right.
And,
And that's what these people, I can't remember her name. I've seen her around town,
yeah,
but she was assigned to Trails because she wasn't on any other team.
and he forced the T-shirt on.
I got a t-shirt.
Thompson Trash Pandas.
So we get,
So great.
All I know is I ended up with a lot of Bogies coupons for ice cream this year.
Well, that was.
So did I, and I used them all for once. I used all mine for once.
I
I
did.
did, or I gave them to the neighbors.
so if you want to collect it for the Little League, you can still do it for Trails. You just got to get the bags and then the drop off is.
What color are the bags? The orange?
Yellow,
The yellow
yellow.
bags. Oh, I've got them.
The drop off, the next drop off is the 22nd of October. Where is the drop off?
They're doing it just like we did for the NIPS collection, except you're not actually dropping anything off. You're driving through. The volunteers who are there will count the number of full bags and keep a running tally sheet. And then you either go to the transfer station or they give you a voucher to go to.
Sandan Road to
Right.
Indian Inn. Would I go there and say, this is for the Little League? No.
For the Trails team.
For the Trails team.
Trails team.
The Trails team. Okay, so I wouldn't have to go with the Trails team.
No, no,
Correct.
because
It's
all-
at the
everybody's
DPW
going
garage.
individually.
time?
And you get a t-shirt.
Okay. So in other words, if I did my Indian Inn and around our
Now we
area,
can, I think.
Right?
Huh?
Because now it's the open
Yeah,
period.
yeah.
Well,
Yes.
it's a new month, so they're gonna reassign.
Oh, I
So
know.
that's
Yes.
why I have to get it.
You
Yeah,
get your
it's
trash.
supposed to change every month. So, and the one that they want to do last is gonna be sort of a special bonus challenge for cemetery cleanup for yard waste and stuff. And also trails, like, so in other words, organics and not just stuff that you would yellow bag. We're working that one out
Okay.
so
too.
I could watch and see if nobody's doing it and I had I could, okay.
That's what we were talking about anyway. So I have written myself a reminder to talk to Brian and Amanda
Just remind
about
everybody to wear
follow-up.
my boots. Poison ivy's out there.
Can I ask one question? What is the time on the 22nd that their volunteers are counting back?
9 to 11.
9 to 11.
So you're gonna drive up with your bags?
And I keep telling
You're gonna
people,
come
one of the
back
best
and then you're
roads
gonna
to
send
do
them
if you're in
up
North
to the,
Grosvenor is the road going to the transfer station.
Okay, and I
There's
would
so
just
much
say
trash
the
on that
trails-
road.
the trails bag.
Yeah, and if you want, Brian has t-shirts
That's,
that say.
Passaic.
Little League.
Passaic.
I'm sure you get more on Stewicki, but there's more houses on Stewicki,
Right,
so
right.
Oh, Brian.
mostly Passaic by the
Oh, okay.
woods.
Yeah, I've got, okay. So they're gonna collect from 9 to 11, right?
So, yeah, drive to the DPW,
You drive through, right?
they count your bags, and then you drive right to the transfer station and toss them.
Now, ideally, they let Brian know they're coming, because like we knew there were only 2 people coming that day, so we're not staying from 9 to 11. Amanda's there with her baby, and it's like, you're not gonna hang out for 2 hours if nobody
Okay,
else is
right.
coming.
Right, but those are all sort of details that we can work out in the background. We do have a little bit of a system in place, which we will continue to adjust until we get it exactly right. But rolling into October, there should be new areas assigned. If you want to formally join the Trails team, see the rec
I'll see
office,
Brian.
get a t-shirt and make sure that he
Do you have any long
registers.
days coming up? Because-
Well, that's
Not
it.
for a while.
Thursday's gonna be
Thursday and
70
Friday.
degrees.
Thursday,
70.
Thursday, Friday are gonna be good this week.
Friday, Saturday, and
Yeah.
Sunday, I'm working at the Speedway selling tickets. That ought to be an experience.
Oh, good. Yes, that should be fun. Okay. All right, so we all set with Little League now? Here, nothing? Then we're going to trail update. All bike repair
John had,
station.
and, before the tri-state market, he went up, 2 days prior to check it out, and he found some big dead, trees that fell down across the road. I hiked up there with the chainsaw and I cut those up. That was a challenge.
But Paul, we're talking bike repair. We're talking bike repair.
I think you're looking at
Okay.
trail updates.
Trail updates.
All.
She beat you, she said bike repair.
Okay.
Well, I didn't hear,
Say, what's
That was a
that
lot of-
bike repair station?
Are you punchy?
Yes.
That was a lot of work.
So thank you for doing
This
that.
is
I
what
told
happens
you.
when you get me involved in meetings early.
You should have moved some more trees around up there. I left some stuff there, I think.
Yeah, we didn't move anything when we did the hike. We just kind of went through, but it was very noticeable. Thank you for that.
okay, so we're at bike repair station. Where are we? Are we still
The
at?
funding has all been committed between Trails and EDC. I have there is a PO open for the portion from EDC, so that's dedicated to a vendor. So you are locked into that one vendor, which is Darrow. Nobody's ordered anything, nor will anybody order anything until a location is determined,
Okay.
because it's another one of those things. We don't want to be storing that for forever. We have no idea how big the packaging is that it comes in. It could be, I mean, how many times have you gotten something that was packaged beyond its needs, right? So we don't want to be in that position.
I did write to Matt Quinn.
You did,
about
okay.
Mechanicsville. And he said that was fine.
Okay, good,
So we have permission if that's what we're gonna do.
good. I personally think that is a really good location for it.
He also said we had brought up about that there was gonna be some road construction in that area, and he said probably 3 years out. So, but he's aware of it, so if it's gonna impact the trail and the crossing and getting to the Putnam connection. But anyway, so we could go ahead
Okay.
if we want.
I did send the online spec sheet to Dan Bennett, who is
Okay.
on EDC and is also the president of TBA and is himself a contractor.
Now, would
And-
something like this get vandalized?
They're pretty sturdy.
So anything can get vandalized, I'll say that. The one
Yeah.
that's in Putnam is still there, and I don't know if it's been vandalized, but every time I've walked past it, I mean, it doesn't look like it's vandalized, so.
I
They
do
haven't
think that
vandalized
is,
their train wreck signs yet, so that's good.
Pardon?
They haven't vandalized their train wreck.
actually, I think they have.
They have? I didn't see anything when I was there Saturday.
Yeah, it's
Since they
fixed.
put the new ones on, they clean, the one with the turntable with ventilator, it had graffiti all over it. I think I showed John, I showed you.
No, I didn't see it, but
On the plastic part or the wood?
Oh, right on, I don't know, no, on the plastic.
But they were able to completely clean it,
Yeah,
apparently.
I didn't see any problem
It'd
Saturday.
be interesting to know what they actually used and did, because if it happens again, we could,
I'm sure that they will tell us.
but
so, again, if we're gonna buy this and it's good, we have a place in Mechanicsville to put it in, I mean, I'll step up to say that I'll do what I can to put it in. I mean, if it's something that like,
Dan
I'm
Bennett
not
said
a
he could
contractor,
do
but
that.
I'm a handy person and
Yeah, so I sent the specs to Dan and he said he thought it looked like an easy install. So that actually I thought was very encouraging. In terms of the vandalism issue, I would just say that's actually another reason why I think the Mechanicsville site is better than the train wreck site, at least until all of the improvements are done at train wreck site. The visibility is much, much better. You've got way better eyes on that. And it's a spot where people, have the beginnings and ends of their rides, right? Because
The car's there.
yeah, the cars.
my only thing to think about is around whatever the pad is, because if you think about what's up at Mechanicsville, like we cut with the mower up there because like all around that parking area gets way overgrown. Or just, I don't know, like if we can get stone dust or something to put around, you know what I'm saying? So the weeds aren't right up against it because,
Oh,
Burn that bridge when we get to it.
okay.
Stuff at DPW, I don't know what they use it for. Maybe we can borrow a little bit of that.
We'll talk about it when we get to that point. Okay, well, I'm good with that.
So, I mean, so do we go ahead and order? because we could put it in. Oh,
But we're gonna have to dig a footer for the framing of the concrete. But
Well, let
that's
me
not
talk, let me talk to Dan and, because next week will be TDA and I attend that as well now. So I'll ask him what he thought about that, whether he would have time to do it, whether it's a favorable time of year, you know, once it chips in, it chips in. So we just want to be sure that we're not going to be schlepping some huge crate back and forth until we can find a home for it.
My only other thought is, right, depending on how long it takes to come in, the ground starts to freeze, and then
Yes.
putting in a pad's really not,
And
conducive
getting
to-
the concrete to set
right?
when it's frozen.
So it might be a spring project.
Could
You're
be.
probably better off waiting until spring, because
That's what I'm
there's way too
thinking.
many variables coming in at the
We
end of
got
the
the
year.
turkey trot coming in, I mean, just time-wise, I'm just thinking.
Well, maybe just ask the vendor,
I can do that.
you know, so that if we have to order it in February to do it in spring, we
Right.
know
That's not,
that.
that's,
Ask the vendor how
Yeah,
long.
order it now for a delivery in the spring.
You can always put the pad up anytime, right?
Well-
Do that.
Well, we don't have really a place to store it. We don't know what,
Pad,
No, the pad.
Make
the
the
pad-
pad for it. and
The
when it
pad's gonna be
delivers-
about half as big as the tabletop.
about
Maximum,
that, we don't
and-
know.
I don't know how thick we want to make it, but we sink the anchor
well,
bolts
it's in
into it.
it's in the online specs, whatever they are.
What's
But
the
yeah,
site?
that's,
Would you say Vero?
Dero, Dero. The Dero Fix It. And there are 3 models, and the medium model, which is the one with the bicycle pump, but not the bicycle pump that is separate from the rest of the tool rack. It's integral to the tool.
Okay. I'll just, for me to educate myself, I'll take a look at it, but
Okay. All right, on to the train wreck site, signs, grants, whatever. Where are we?
You're so much closer. I have signed the contract from the state.
Oh.
But the state needs to countersign it, so it is currently at the Attorney General's office. I did email CT Deep this morning. Kim Bradley is the person who took over for Lori Gennati. And she said, and she looped in the person in their legal department, who's the one who handled the contracts, to see if there was an update. I did not receive an update before the end of the day. But theoretically, I could have that countersigned back from the AG's office any minute. They seem to think it wasn't going to take anywhere near as long as it took them to generate the contract, which certainly makes sense. The second I have that countersigned, I'm on the phone to Daniel at J&D. He's just waiting for me to say, go out and survey the thing. And, you know, once I unlock the state's funds and start expending them, then the rest of the project can move forward. I will say this in terms of the other 150,000, which was our, you know, allotment for the project from ARPA. That recreational trails grant is going to come up again. We only got approved for 16,000 for the front end, you know, the design stuff and the legal. On this grant, Kim strongly encouraged me to put it through again. So depending on when that opens up, if we haven't started any of that site work yet, it probably does make sense to try to leverage the ARPA funds again to try to get the rest of the site work. Because there's no other funding source that's gonna come even close to funding the parking area and.
That's what I had said a
Yeah.
few months ago, that shouldn't we hold off on those funds in case we needed them to
Well,
leverage another grant?
yeah, I think the first time it came up, it was way earlier in the year and everybody was hoping to start it over the summer.
Yeah,
That has come and gone.
at this point, let's.
So at this point, it may make sense to wait until the next round of that recreational trails grant is announced, which I think is in November, December. I've already got the grant fundamentally written. It's just adjusting it, taking out what we've already gotten funded and tinkering with what the match covers. In the last round, and I assume that it will be consistent, but I don't know for sure, our match requirement was only 20%. So we still would have almost $150,000 after we take out the $4,000 that they counted as our match for the amount that they actually awarded us. So that's a chunk of change that we don't have another good means to get. So that would be my general recommendation, but any second now. we should be able to at least get the survey work done and start the acquisition piece for that 1.1 acres where the turntable is located.
And some of the people we've contacted are still interested. Well, Donahue does my yard and he just asked about it because he knows we had approached him.
He's on my
Uh,
list. I think
and-
he's the one who did some of the estimates for me, so
So I want to comment on the signs.
please.
So the signs, we get the new things on the sign, they look.
I thought they looked okay.
look okay.
Yeah.
And where I'm working on the big East Thompson sign, or the big wood sign. That's a big sign. It's as long as this table, 10 foot long, over a foot wide.
Is that the
what
original?
it looks like.
Is that the
Okay.
original size or, yeah?
Yeah, so
Wow,
we have all
that's-
the documentation on
And
it.
that's the one you're making.
That's what I'm making.
Wow, that's gorgeous, Paul.
That's gonna be. So we're planning for that to be up and in the ground and mounted with this October 15th.
Oh, that
walk around.
close. Excellent.
Lot of
And
work. That's a
who,
big sign.
who's doing the installation on that?
I am.
With a team.
What's it made of?
Wood, that's the 1 inch, so that's rough cut pine. So we cut that on a bandsaw, a portable saw. Then it's backed by cleats in the back of another, so it's like 2 inches thick. Over a foot wide and then the molding on the side.
Kind of like that it's made out of wood instead of modern materials so that we kind of are true to
We
the
have
original sign.
The actual
That's-
specs from the train,
Wow.
people in the train things, we on a font, the sign, how to build the sign, the angle of the molding
Wow.
and everything.
That's
has to go
great.
with that.
Nice, I saw it. It
Gotta
wasn't
be
worded and it
pretty
was nice. Like the sign wasn't painted and.
So just wanted to let everybody, that's in the making.
I'm willing to help you when you're ready to put it up.
All right, I'll give you a call the day before,
Good.
probably gonna be next week.
Good, I'll have a new phone by then.
Oh, then how am I gonna call
You
you?
want to introduce- Right.
It'll be the
That's
same
one way to
number.
get out of the call.
You can call me too or contact me.
I think I can receive calls, and I did manage to get through them out today, but my phone was just.
Yeah, and I called you back and you got
You
my
need a
call.
new phone.
I know.
Okay, so if we go. to the-
Yeah,
All right, we're
I
on,
can help too, Paul, if you need to get
we're
on.
on to mowing reports and the
Okay,
next
so
work
mowing
party.
Reports, so I can.
Now you can talk about mowing and trees.
So,
It's a segue.
so our last meeting, we had a new person, Sandra.
Yeah, she's online.
Hi, Sandra.
Hi, Sandra.
Sandra, you online?
Yeah.
Oh, hi. So she went with me in the Kubota and we probably spent 3 hours. We mowed from my house all the way down the new road, all the way back, all the way up to Lower Davis Road and back. So we made one pass, the whole thing into the big house to do that.
All right, Sandra.
Yay. Take a bow.
Sandra, are you officially trying to join this?
She did join us
Committee?
last
Thought you did
time.
join.
Oh, you did? You got the volunteer paperwork in and everything?
I don't have any paperwork done, but I would like
Aha.
to.
Yeah, so that's online, but you can email me and I'll send it to you. It's my email's wicked easy, planner@thompsonct.org.
Then I went down last week, I did a second pass for the area by the train wreck because we're gonna be having a thing. But we still need to get a work party and go back to the Mechanicsville site and do that again, because that gets pretty grown in.
And between Sunset and Lowell Davis is a
Yeah.
tree that fell. It's not on the trail now, but it's close. Yeah,
I've been cutting if there's trees down, I've been, cutting them where I see them.
So if you do organize a work party for the Mechanicsville Trailhead in particular,
Mhm.
try to give me a heads up and I will see if I can get Dan Bennett to go out there and look at where you might want that bike repair station installed. I can't guarantee anything on his behalf, obviously, but I'll
Mhm.
certainly let him know.
About that gate too, they still have not fixed it. So at Mechanicsville, there's a pin that goes through the gate and there's a lock that goes on it and it looks like somebody got something onto it, twisted it and rip the lock right off, so the pin comes right out and anybody can have access to the trail with motorized vehicles.
Oh, same thing at Lowell Davis. You still
Well,
have
they
that,
just-
that one gate that doesn't have,
But I
yeah,
don't know if I've never found it open.
I found it open
Oh,
once.
have you?
Mhm.
Okay. I don't think anybody knew about that one, but this one they definitely
So,
vandalized.
Lowell Davis,
There's just no pin at Lowell Davis or lock. The one at Mechanicsville needs a new pin because they destroyed the pin. The lock's gone.
Of course.
Yeah, so they
But
both
that's a
need pin in
weird
the
pin
lock.
because the pin just dropped through and then the lock just went through the bottom of the bolt.
Yeah.
So they just put something on there and twisted it a few times and it snapped.
Wow.
Right, and that was 2 meetings ago, I want to say.
That's what we voted.
Was that when we found it broken? Yeah, then it was
Yeah.
a longer time than that, because
yeah,
we
but
mowed it.
he's the only, I think there's 2 people, they said, only 2 people working the whole airline trip. For any reason.
CT Deep is possibly the most understaffed agency in the state right now.
Yeah. What does the energy do for them? Department of Energy and Environmental Protection. Energy gets what? Environmental gets nothing.
Well, I can't speak to that. I don't know. All I'm telling you is CT Deep is one of the most understaffed agencies in the state right now. I think everybody knows that there was a huge wave of retirements that impacted all of the departments and agencies, but for whatever reason, CT Deep had more than most. And it was all at once, and they have to replace all those people.
Domino effect.
All the institutional.
All right,
knowledge.
Charlie, you're on. Fabian River access.
Yeah, but there's one other point about the airline trail is that somebody has gone up there with fairly heavy equipment where Plum Road comes into the airline trail and they've moved away the earth. I didn't do it. But the link is open now. It's more visible, but a work project could spruce it up and maybe put up a sign that says pizza and beer or something, get people off the airline trail.
Don't do that.
No.
It's open all the way and it's much easier now than it was.
Yeah.
Pizza and beer at Tara's house for nip cleaning.
Don't know who it was that went through it might have been the property owner. Because he knew that they had to keep the property open. to keep the-
So
I wouldn't have made it.
I don't disagree with you with sprucing it up, but I don't know where our access is, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what's what over there as far as where we have the right of way.
We have a right of way on the paper road and I've got a copy of the land record that says that when they developed it, they had to get a driveway permit. And when they got the driveway permit, it said, make it go up far enough so that a school bus can turn around. And that brings it almost right up to the airline trail. And it says in the title record that they have to keep their driveway open for the public to access the airline trail. So it's the paper road is open again, essentially.
Property owner's name is Hal Merrick, so send him a letter asking him his permission, easement or no easement. That's probably in your best interest.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to doing that again, but I did gather all the data that shows that the property record has it all in there.
What's that road over there? What's that?
Plum. This new property is the last one on the right.
There is some contentious relationship between some of the neighbors on Plum Road over who does and doesn't have access over there. So I definitely would not be just going up there assuming that there's an easement in hand, even if there is.
But like Charlie said, there was a hill and somebody bulldozed out.
That's
Like
right, that's right, and
right
where it
against the
joins
track.
the
I mean,
airline.
the
trail.
airline, yeah. Somebody bulldozed it out.
Somebody cleared out the
There's
path.
somebody who owns a logging property back there. It was probably them.
It might have been that, but it was done way after the logging. I guarantee you. I've been riding my bike up there for the last 3
That's the
years.
property I asked you about, right? That was behind the condos that's logging back
Yeah,
there.
Yes. Right in that area.
Mhm. Yeah, I was
the
wondering if
other
someone
thing
was
is-
developing it, so I
Yeah,
texted
makes
her.
sense.
and
Deep or DOT has to fix the erosion problem under Route 200. It's getting worse.
Problem with that is they claim it's not their problem, like that the road's
They're
not
trying
causing
to
it.
claim it's not their problem, but
Water's coming from somewhere.
the condition with the erosion developed at the same time as the work that they were doing at the exit, 395. I don't know if they diverted something around and came over the top. I don't know, because I didn't see it when it was on there. I just see how badly it's eroded. The canoe kayak put in, you asked me about that on the Quinnipiac River?
Well,
It's on
it says Fabian River
Yes,
access.
Back before the ribbon cutting at the Blaine Road Bridge, I had spoken with
Ed,
Ed at the flood control, and I asked him about that area, and I asked him also about below the dam, and he said he didn't have any problems with it, but he didn't have people to do it. John and I went out and we looked at I think a better portage around the Fabian Dam is to go, when you're heading downriver, you go to the right because it's pretty level, and where the Jordan Brook comes in, you've got a easier place to get out of the canoe, pretty easy to get around the dam, nice deep pool to get out. The other side, the stream, the current is so strong, and it goes down through where they broke the dam, and it's trees in it. So what we considered, what I suggested also was, let's go over there and clean up the path around the dam. So there's a better portage than what has been available. And there's a development going on, a real estate development going on the north side of 197, on the west side of 131. It's called Donovan Lane or Donovan Drive. It's being put up by Jason Lavalley. And the town received at least 5 and maybe 7 acres conservation easement. It shows up now on the town records as Town of Thompson property. Jason is going to be putting in some sort of a driveway to a utility, something, I don't know, but it brings you within 10, 15 feet of the river, maybe 25 at the most, and it's down to the river. So there'll be a place there where people can unload their kayak or canoe, put it in, take that extra, I don't know, what is it, a mile of river? And it's got about a 50-foot drop in a mile. So it's got to be running when the water's in there, at least, you know, if it's not drought, it's got to be a good run.
Yeah, it runs pretty good. My father fished a woman out of there many years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And it's as close as you'll get to pristine view of the New England environments, habitat, because nothing could have ever been built in there.
No, between Quinnebog and Fabian, no.
Right.
Yeah, well, it was a sandbank. When we first moved there, and, well, in 1955, there were two-decker homes that went down with the flood water.
Mm.
And after that, you got to get to Fabian before there's a house on that side.
Yeah.
And we used to play there. That was a sandbank.
Yeah.
I mean, no.
And so, and there was graveling done on the west bank of there and heading up, but not down in close to the water.
Yeah.
So we open up an extra 1.5 miles or mile or so of Blue Way, a path that goes from the Massachusetts border down to the West Thompson Dam. And it won't take a lot of work, but over the winter, I think we should target it so we can get in there and see what we need. First time I saw it was winter. Nothing was there, no underbrush. John and I went up 2 months ago and could hardly see. I said, it's in here, believe me, it's in here.
A lot of woods.
So
I don't disagree with you on that, Charlie, but I think we gotta wait to see what this guy does and
But
then
that's
go
what I
in
was-
there. Because if we just go in and we might not even be targeting the area where he's gonna put his, whatever,
Because he's,
access or road, because there
Yeah,
was two
well-
spots that it could have been.
he's changed
Yeah,
his,
No, I know exactly where it is. It's on the map and Janet Blanchett may have sent it to me, but I've had computer problems for the last 3 weeks. And-
So, again, I'm just saying, my thoughts are just to wait to see what he does before we go down there to do work, so we know where to do the work. 'Cause I don't disagree with you, but we can go down there and clear all we want, and if he doesn't give us, if there's no access there because he hasn't put in his driveway, no one's gonna, and it's gonna all grow over.
Yeah.
Is he
Because
putting
he's-
houses up in there?
Not on that conservation easement, but up in the back, they've got
Yeah.
at least
The big,
there's gonna be,
probably 10 new houses up in
oh,
there
there's
already.
13 right now, and he's got place for 31.
And
So
that's
it's a
going up,
longstanding subdivision plan and
So
he's
it's Donovan.
coming in.
Donovan's,
Yeah,
to
it's
close
now,
the phase.
it's now a loop. It used to be a
Right.
dead end, but now you can go up and around.
oh, you can, oh. that
But my
might
thought
be-
is that he has split up some of those lots and changed at least,
He re-subdivided a small handful
Yes,
to make a couple of smaller lots for resale, so we can monetize a
but you know,
little
one
more.
time we walk up there and it's cleared over there, the next time it's cleared. Wait a minute, that was over there. No, he's put a house there. So, you know, I have to agree with you, John, that, you know.
I'm sure our
He's-
access
he-
is gonna be our access, but I'm just
yes,
saying,
You don't know where it's gonna be.
Smarter, not harder.
yes, especially if he's gonna go down there and open it up, and then we can see from there.
That'd be a good seller for his homes that he's putting up there too, right?
Oh, of course it is.
Mhm.
Of course it is. There's not a house under there.
there's
It's up there.
also an opportunity for a walking trail that would be good for photography. We'll get the whole, well, I have a copy of the map that I've seen on screen, but it was highlighted improperly for what this discussion is. That's what I asked Janet.
So like we say, you know, hang in and see what he finally decides to do and where he's gonna do it.
Sure.
Okay, social media, PR, outreach, maps, brochures, flyers, and decals.
I will say that I worked the Big E, the Kinetic CT Visit tourism booth the second day that the Big E was open. I took up a flat of the Thompson Z maps. We are down to the last flat, by the way. So that was an opportunity for me to put both Thompson's and Putnam's maps into people's hands. Those were the only two towns that had sent any up for the brochure tables. People liked them who had them, so that was a good opportunity. I have been operating under the assumption that the tourism district is going to at least partially fund a reprint of those maps. Every time we have a board of directors meeting, it's late on the agenda and we get bogged down in other stuff and it just keeps getting pushed out and out and out. So I do not know at what point they're going to advance some funds for that, but I will keep working on that. Everybody who participated in the ZMAP program loves them. Everybody wants to reprint them. It's just how much, if any, of the reprint costs the district is going to absorb. EDC actually has enough money put aside in their printing line item in their budget to redo them, whether or not the district funds them. But we don't urgently need them. So if we can get part of it subsidized by the tourism district, I'd rather. And we do have one flat left, but once that flat's gone, we're gonna have to make some choices.
I have a third of a flat.
And you have a third of a flat.
And that's probably got about a third.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we have those for this?
those thirds of the flats to community day, and then I can at least hang on to that last one
Okay.
for here in the library.
I haven't made the map holder yet. Something I will get that done, but I had something else come across for my fire department that I'm building. Right, but at least if we have them, we don't have to put them up. I can keep them in my, hold on to them. They're not gonna be that big, but I'm making a cabinet for our chief who passed away in January to put his, like as a memorial, so.
Okay,
Decals. There will be decals on the Kubota for Community Day.
Good. Oh, good.
They're going on this week. I talked to. Dave
Is Labs
today.
doing that?
Yeah.
And we don't have a price to vote on?
I thought we had already committed money to that.
We did.
I
We
think
did.
he's gonna donate it, but I don't know, they're,
I don't,
good size,
We
done the whole
committed,
front.
but we
we
didn't.
said we wanted to do it, but I don't think we voted any money.
Oh.
I could
I-
have sworn
I
we
think
committed
what
up
we did was
to
we voted
200 or
money, but
something,
we
yeah.
did. I think we did. We voted, we wanted to put them on the unit itself and on the trailer, and we got them on the trailer quickly, but we never seemed to get the ones on the unit.
That would be way back. How much we spent out
So,
of that, whatever we
They-
voted.
They will
but
be on there, how we pay, how that gets paid.
I didn't know if we wanted to vote.
I
Deal with it after. We'll vote for it. We'll pay for it.
Yeah.
I honestly think we did vote some money for it, but after we had the decals put on the trailer, and
I believe so too.
when did we take it down there? It was right before then, I think we did. So it's been there, what, 6 months?
So the trailer was there, but it was empty, the trailer, yeah, it was, no, you brought the trailer empty over his house. 'Cause we still had the stuff empty.
Right, but after that, we talked about it, and that's why I bought the trailer to your house for work to be fixed, to mow, but also you
So,
drove it over to Dave's to
so
measure it.
I can bring it over and he could do it on his.
But I think we voted on money then, which was
As I talked to him, I don't
March or
know,
May.
he said, a lot of times he donates to the town, so.
No. So sometimes he donates necessarily the setup or whatever to, you know what I mean? And then usually, right, for the materials, that's what we pay for.
Okay. Reports from neighboring towns, Putnam.
Bruce, you're up.
Are you awake?
Wake up.
Wait, hi there. Didn't know I had my own spot here. Well, the airline trail connection from Pomfret to Putnam, the DOT has approved the contract. That's about to be signed. This fall, the surveyors are supposed to go out and survey the area for design work. And by the time the design work's done and approved by DOT, you're looking at a start out there in 2024. As far as the connection between Putnam and Thompson, Weston Sampson has some software that they can put certain information into and spit out a proposed cost for the trail connection that we choose, or several that we choose as options to go to the railroad. We're preparing to go to the railroad. So they also have someone that just left DOT who knows a contact. So we're trying to get DOT. I'm going to be working on the state of Connecticut parks. Elaine is going to be working on a congressman or representative to tag along and when we go contact the railroad. And we're kind of building a team, and we're going to meet again in 2 weeks and gather up our information and see if we can make an appointment to go talk to the railroad. Because once we get that done, then we can know what we're doing for sure. If the railroad's going to let us do what we want to do out there or not. And that's pretty much what I've got from my end.
Thank you.
I have a question, Bruce. You said 2024 looks like when they're gonna start moving this?
Yes,
That's the Pomfret side.
that's the that's the Pomfret Putnam connection.
Oh, okay.
So this meeting in 2 weeks is just going to be the team that you're getting together for this?
Yes, yeah, we're going to have a big group meeting hopefully and schedule a time to actually make that contact with the railroad.
Is anybody from this committee invited to that meeting?
I don't see why not. Yeah, we'll be posting it, so we can do that.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Okay.
I'd like to know about it, because if I could make it, I'd like to try to.
I think the Zoom meeting.
Yeah, whatever it is, yeah. As long as it's not on a Wednesday night, I'm usually okay.
Well, if it's with the railroad, it's going to be during office hours probably.
Yeah,
And that just depends on when it is, like possibly, but, okay.
And Bruce, as I think you know, I've been sort of yammering at Elaine and Delphin. I know Delphin's retiring in January, to do a partnership grant similar to what you guys did with Pomfret when the time is right.
correct.
And I I think, and I still think that Putnam should be the lead on that because it's a tie-in to something they've already done. But whenever you guys are ready to start talking about that with me, you reach out to me. Happy to be a part of anything that goes on with Rep. Courtney's office because I've got a really good relationship with his aides. So happy to piggyback on that if you think it'll be helpful.
Excellent, very good, thank you.
Okay, are we on to the 12-town task force?
Yes, but it'll be quick. There's no updates.
Okay.
Just so you know, Gene Davies is also retiring in early 23. And they are currently hiring essentially a financial admin to take on some of her tasks leading into that. I'm on the council for RC&D and they had some interviews this past week when I couldn't dial in, and they're having some tomorrow when I might be able to dial in. But I think that's eating up pretty much all of Gene's time right now is these staffing issues. There was that draft marketing plan or whatever that went out a couple weeks ago, 2-3 weeks
No,
ago.
I haven't seen anything that recently. Nothing.
Is
came
it
to
longer
me.
than that? Yeah.
Early summer.
Was it that long ago?
Well, unless you got something.
No, I
new.
don't think I got anything you didn't get.
Okay, so we're on to the Connecticut Trail Census.
Also no updates. Partly because Kim Bradley is now at Deep.
And
No, she didn't
hasn't-
retire. She
Oh.
moved into Deep.
And she's not been replaced.
Know of, but I get my updates on the Connecticut Trail Census when I dial into the 12-town task force. Lyanne, do you have any updates on Trail Census?
I have not heard a word about the 12-town task force or the Connecticut Trail Census in months.
Yeah, okay, so that's consistent with our experience too. Okay,
I can tell you the counter's working.
Oh, good. All right, so we're on to equipment, tools, status and maintenance.
So I have a request. So when I went up to cut that big tree on the trail, that chainsaw blade
Gone.
really bad. It was like, filing through the tree. Instead of cutting chips, it was like sawdust. We need a new chainsaw blade for the chain. And the other one, we could maybe have sharpened as a spare, but we really need a new blade.
they must do sharpening at the place,
Or what it, yeah.
that Four Corners up there.
Yeah, I know the name, what you're talking about. I don't know the name of it, where we got our equipment from.
Carl's,
Carl's, it's Carl's garage or Carl's service.
How much you think for a saw blade?
Probably, I don't know, $35 or something. I don't know.
Jump change.
So I'd like to
Yeah.
order one and,
And
We
have
can
that
probably
one-
go see him and he can probably get what's for that saw.
yeah, I think we.
Oh, yeah,
Is that
that's
what we
where
bought
got.
the?
Yeah.
Excellent,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll bring it up there and tell them we need a new
So-
blade.
buy a new one and leave the old one and have them sharpen it.
I'll make a motion that we spend, I don't know, $50 to
Yeah,
buy a
say
new chain
it's
for our
gonna be,
chainsaw.
$50. Well, we're gonna have a sharpen and a new one.
Yeah.
You might as well.
Actually,
I
the
think it'd be the
tools,
warranty.
I know how to sharpen them, but I can't find my file.
We have files.
No, we got
They're
files.
easy.
We don't have the jig.
Oh,
And I don't know how to do it either, but we have files. They came with, I don't know, somebody bought it with the saw.
Yeah, there's 4 files in there.
Yeah. I don't know how to sharpen saws.
Yeah.
I didn't. Oh,
I'll second John's
So,
motion.
so I'm just thinking, do we make it more because we need one sharpened? I don't know how much that costs.
Well,
Knows how to sharpen
Up
it,
to
so-
$60.
I keep buying new chainsaws.
yeah, if you're gonna pay somebody, a mechanic to do it, it's
Yeah.
probably gonna cost.
it's probably,
more than
it's
buying
it's
a
almost
blade.
worth buying a new chain. If you're
Yeah.
gonna, it's probably $15 to sharpen it, $20 for a new chain.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was looking at the sharpening tools once, because I have a steel too, and it's like almost $100 to get the stuff to sharpen it. And it's like,
Yeah.
I used to have a nice little jig at
I could buy a new chainsaw.
You could.
Well, do you want to not sharpen it and buy 2 new chains?
Quick question.
Well,
Sure.
why don't you give me $50 and we'll see what we can do.
All right.
I don't know if you get 2 chains for $50, it's probably maybe $25 a piece.
We've got how many saws do we have?
Well, we got 1.5 saw.
One of the big saws. and
Yeah, then we have the little branch
Yeah,
cutting
yeah, yeah,
saw.
yeah. That
No,
blade's
it has a
okay,
bit of
that
chain
chain's
on it.
okay.
That one,
Nobody-
how's the chain on that one?
I think there's a newer chain on that one than that other one, because we bought one already for that. Yeah.
I think you want to up the ante. If he's buy two new blades, I can't imagine that they're gonna be $35 for one.
I'd be surprised. I bought a new chain
How much
this
chain
year,
you
but
bought?
I don't think it was anywhere near that much.
You could probably get them online cheaper.
Yeah.
But.
Well,
But then
we
you're gonna
just
pay the
go
tax
up
and-
to,
and the
and
shipping
don't
and
have
everything.
a
You
problem.
get them at the Tractor Supply store or down
Home Depot, you said?
Well,
Well,
it
I
depends
get
on
mine
the
at
brand,
Right.
because I stopped at the place in Woodstock, but he only sells
I have
steel.
verified
And
that
he
he
says, "Oh,
has
I
the
don't have a
ability to
blade
do it.
that'll fit that."
I'm working
I
on.
thought ours was
willingness.
steel.
Oh,
No, it's
yeah,
Echo.
Echo.
A place in Quinnebog sells Echoes.
Yeah, that's where we bought them.
All our,
Or Runnings.
all the.
Oh.
Runnings might have it. I'm just saying, I'd like to go local and
I
give
was
the guy a
just
little
gonna
bit of
say- I was gonna
business.
say the
That's
same
just,
thing as you.
it's just my
support
thoughts.
as
I
local
think
as
we
we
pay
can.
more, but it's nicer to have that man in town. He was super
Yeah.
nice. I only dealt with him for the blower and he was super nice.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, before the last big snowstorm, I called them up to fix I didn't think I'd see it before the storm. They had it back.
Right, try and do that at Home Depot or Runnings.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
they took it away and brought it back the next day, ready for the storm.
So that's my only thing. I agree that we'll probably pay more money there, but I just think he's very nice.
Local is good.
If we, vote on $50, I think that
I
should.
put in
Yeah.
Echo chains at Runnings and depends on the model, but they're showing $16, $19, $23.
That's what my
So-
memory
Well,
is.
Chris
$50.
can
So
sharpen.
I made this,
I amended mine to $60 and Charlie, I thought
and I
seconded.
second,
I second it.
All in
Charlie
motion?
second before you did. I got it. Okay,
Okay.
all in
So I'll
favor?
get-
Aye.
I'm gonna get two new chains.
Yep.
And the old chain, maybe somebody chopping it.
I'm working on that right
Working on
now.
it.
Oh, okay, I'll give you the old chain.
But he'll have at least two in the meantime.
On the
You
saw.
want, that we voted yes, is two new chains.
We'll
Get
two
two
new
new
chains.
chains.
Yes.
Okay.
As far as when I did pick up the, I don't know if I reported this, the blower. I asked him about maintenance on those things, the trimmers and like, cause they're mowers. And he said, what are you using for fuel in them? And I pointed to the stuff that they sell in the can that he has there. They sell it everywhere. That's True Fuel.
Special.
He said, as long as you're using that because it doesn't have alcohol in it, that you don't really need to do any maintenance to them. As long as you're,
Yeah.
treating them nice, that's the best thing. He said, if you're using gas from a gas station and mixing your own oil in it, there's too many additives in that gas and that's the stuff that kills them. So he said we'd be fine and they start up.
We might have to get another gallon there pretty soon.
So that's
Well,
already
if-
in money we have approved. We would just have to, somebody would get it and then submit the receipt because.
Speaking of the blower, I actually used the blower down at the train station, the depot station, and do all the stuff. It worked pretty good.
It's a smaller model.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's kind of a
it's,
small, a
it's like
bigger
a
one would have
backpack.
been a lot better, but it worked okay.
All right. Are we all set with equipment, tools, status, maintenance?
Yeah, so just if you do want Chris to sharpen a chain, just give us a little notice and
Well, if he's gonna buy two, then you don't,
Well,
take
but we
the,
got
take
the
the.
old one, it could always get chopped in.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's no rush on it.
There'd be no
So-
rush on it, so-
yeah, just drop it off to him and I'll.
I've only ever sharpened them when they were still on the saw.
Yeah, when
and
they're on the,
Pretty
when
easy
they're on
to
the
do. I
bar,
don't know
it's easier
if,
than if you're this.
Oh,
Generally on a bar, you get a jig that mounts to the bar.
so you should find out if he wants it.
So,
on
yeah,
the
just give me,
chains
so
or
just
not.
give me a little notice.
Well, just let us know if he's something he can, he said he could do it.
He definitely
needs to-
can do it.
Right, he didn't say. So if he needs the saw, then we'll have to just know that. That's
Just
all.
have him
Yeah,
send the
this is
bill
his
to the
response.
town.
So what I can do is I can leave the old chain on it.
To my question,
And
if one of the
give you that
guys from
saw.
Trails brings one over, is it difficult or time consuming? He says, depends, bring one over when. And I said, I think they can work around you. And that is where we've left it.
Okay.
So,
So we could give you the whole saw. and we
Yeah,
could
the
find
only
two
question.
blades, and you could sharpen it either on the saw or take it off. and sharpen
that's the question, which would he prefer?
it. Or give him the whole thing.
And we don't need the answer now. We're just,
No,
I will tell you that we are on vacation the first week of November, and we're gonna be home and around for at least a couple of those days. So
We'll be at Community Day.
He's not gonna-
We will not be at
I was gonna say,
Community
she's
Day.
already committed to something else.
Let's move on.
Indeed, Mike, thank you.
I know a Halloween party I'll be at, but.
You're gonna bring a chainsaw to the Halloween party?
It will make an interesting accessory to Rocket's costume.
Oh my God, are you bringing the dog?
All right, new agenda items for future meetings.
Okay, then.
Yeah, I need to accessorize the costume, so a chainsaw
Hey,
could work.
this is all on the record, brother.
Yeah.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, nothing being heard. Next business meeting is December 5th, after a very successful turkey trot
Hmm.
and Community Day.
Big month for us, big month.
Second. All in favor?
Hi.
Good.
Amen.
Thank you all.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Bye.
How did you get here?